Are Android tablets worth buying now? 2023 has seen the launch of high-quality tablets from Google, Samsung, and OnePlus. Does this mean Android tablets are worth buying again? Android tablets have long lagged behind Apple's iPad. For a while, it has appeared as if Apple was the only company with tablets worth buying, while the few options in the Android market were only available for the sake of it. However, with software advancements and new launches from companies such as Google and OnePlus, it appears that Android tablets are worth another look. Let's take a look at the present state of Android tablets, taking into account the most recent advances, to see if it's worth acquiring one or if the iPad should still be your go-to device. Why have Android tablets previously failed to compete with iPads? First, we must examine why it has been difficult to endorse Android tablets because they have long been eclipsed by Apple's iPad lineup. The story begins with the release of the iPad in 2010. Following the success of the iPad, other technology companies hurried to create low-cost Android-powered tablets in the hopes of stealing market share from Apple. Unlike the iPad, Android tablets were just large-screen devices running Android, a smartphone operating system. There was no software optimization. In fact, Android tablets flooded the market while Google was still working on Android 3.0 Honeycomb, a version of Android designed exclusively for large-sized devices. Honeycomb was released in 2011 with several enhancements to take advantage of larger screens. Even with the improvements, it could have been better. According to user reports, Honeycomb crashed frequently, and the platform featured few apps that could take advantage of the larger screens. This is despite Google giving tools for developers to optimize their apps for large screens. However, given the small size of the market and the wide range of hardware that required to be supported, it was not worth the developers' time. That means the software experience was just halfway finished. Not to mention that Honeycomb was more difficult and unintuitive to operate than Apple's iOS on the iPad. It has a long road ahead of it. Android tablets deserve their bad reputation. The reputation of Android tablets was damaged from its early days. Google's Honeycomb didn't manage to redeem the platform, nor did subsequent attempts. Key issues such as fragmentation, poor app optimization, and lack of an intuitive user interface plagued Android tablets in the following years. Android's inferior software update policy didn't help. As a result, the iPad became the de facto choice for everyone intending to purchase a tablet. Due to weak sales, the number of Android tablets on the market eventually shrank, while the iPad's popularity grew. Google also ignored Android tablets for a long time, improving the platform on smartphones, but rarely on tablets. Apple, on the other hand, kept improving the iPad. The platform is better and easier to use with iPadOS, and it has strong connection with Apple's other operating systems and a large assortment of apps. When you combine all of these factors, it's easy to see why Android tablets have struggled to compete with iPads. How Android tablets are making a comeback. Despite the gloomy past, recent developments show that Android tablets are finally making a comeback in various ways. First, Google is finally taking the initiative to address the software issue. The company started with the launch of Android 12 Lite in October 2021, an optimized version of the operating system targeted at making Android better on large-screen devices. Android 12 Lite enhanced app compatibility and multitasking, bringing a new, improved user interface to make tablets easier to use. Android 12 Lite was released as a feature drop, but it didn't stop there. Google's renewed interest in tablets continued with Android 13, which brought new features for an improved Android experience on large screens, including split-screen app support, drag-and-drop functionality, a persistent taskbar, and a revamp of the notification shade. Collectively, these features improved the software experience a lot, and if you've been a keen tablet user, you'll notice that these are some of the critical features that give iPadOS an edge over Android. That was followed by app optimizations from Google and several third-party developers like Facebook and Canva to improve their apps on large screens. App optimization is still a work in progress as of July 2023, but it's good to see some developers committed to the cause. Secondly, two of the major smartphone brands launched new tablets. Google introduced the Pixel tablet, a 10.95-inch device powered by Google's Tensor G2 chip, starting at $499. As the company that owns Android, Google's return to the tablet market signals a bright future for the segment. It symbolizes that the company is dedicated to ensuring that the overall Android experience on tablets is intuitive, something it has been paying attention to since 2021. With the release of the two smartphones, potential purchasers now have more options in addition to the normal Samsung items. They will, hopefully, serve to rekindle consumer interest in Android tablets, make the market more competitive, and ultimately give consumers with better value for less, similar to what we see in the Android smartphone market. Should you invest in an Android tablet? That is dependent on the situation. Despite recent advances, not all apps for Android tablets are properly optimized. So, if you're primarily searching for a tablet-sized device with a developed ecosystem of apps for completing various tasks, the Android environment will be difficult to locate. According to recent Pixel tablet reviews, most third-party apps are still blown-up smartphone apps with no large screen optimization. If you want to run non-Google apps on your Android tablet, you should expect nothing in terms of optimization. You should get an iPad instead, which means, as it stands, the iPad should still be the go-to choose for most people looking for a tablet. But if you're more inclined towards media consumption rather than productivity, apps, or gaming, you can get any Android tablet, and you'll be fine.